Welcome to our session. This will be a strength-based one because I love it. And we haven't done that in a while. So hopefully this will be fresh content for you. For my hammock, I'm standing on my toes and my hammock is coming right about to my hip flexors. That gives me the room to safely invert. So go ahead and get yourself set and we will begin our practice. For our warm-up, go ahead and meet me right underneath your plumb line. Fabric is going to be underneath your shoulders. You can use your hands behind your head or you can hold the fabric in front of you. Take a couple little pelvic tilts here back and forth just to warm up the spine. And for our work, we're going to be focusing a lot on our core. So I want you to make sure the whole practice we're focusing on our center, really cinching in through the waistline, navel to spine. Next time you drop your hips, go ahead and tuck one foot underneath. You can tuck the toes or you can press the top of the foot into the floor, coming into some version of a lunge here. I'm going to think of pressing the fabric away with my hands, creating a slight arch in the upper back and really pushing the pelvis forward. And add micro movements here, not necessarily the hips. Try to rotate a bit with your shoulders, slightly right and left. Doesn't take much for you to feel. And go ahead and pull that leg underneath. Couple more pelvic tilts. Scoop and release. Other leg is going to come up. You're either tucking your toes or I'm pushing the top of my foot into the floor for a little more stretch there. Try a slight pelvic tuck. Really press into the ground with that foot. Add a slight rotation upper body. Like I said, it doesn't take much. And unravel. Go ahead and walk back. Now, you do not have to use the leg for this, but it might be fun for some of you to try. It just takes you a little bit deeper, in my opinion. We're gonna take a side stretch. So if you don't want to use that knee, don't. And you might also need to do a little float and hover. So I'm gonna demonstrate that for you. I'm gonna think of really keeping my abs engaged. Little hop off the floor so I can catch one leg. From there, you can push back. And this is gonna force a deeper side crunch to come up and over. Make sure you're supporting your head with your hand as you do your reach. I just feel a whole lot more side stretch with this leg in my panel here. Coming back to center. I'm gonna slowly just let myself release underneath my plumb line as I unfold. Again, remember, it's like a slight hover. Keep everything strong. I'm gonna push off the floor to grab that foot so I can push back and add my side bend. Make sure your head is supported and keep squeezing those glutes. Keep the hips lifted. Releasing. Bring that fabric up and over. Look forward, take one little downward dog, folding down and in, hands to the floor. My hammock is kind of low, I can still safely invert, but feet can be on the floor or you could float them. Regardless, push through the heels. Push the ground away and draw the navel in. Get strong and get long. And then go ahead and release. Walk your feet forward. We're gonna get into our first exercise. So I want you to catch those hip flexors just as we were coming into our downward dog. There should be some pressure there. So we are forward of the plumb line. Bring the hands behind your head. Fingers behind the head, elbows nice and wide. Use the muscles of your back to try to lift up and then drop back down. So I want you to keep a nice flat back. Navel's drawn in. If it's too easy, walk your feet a little further forward, and I promise you it will get a lot harder. You're gonna lift and lower, squeezing through the back, elbows lifted. 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, go ahead and lift, flat back, widen the elbows, continue to look down, push the head into your fingers. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, rest. Ooh, I feel like that should not be that hard. And yet it is. Go ahead and roll your way up. Let's come back into those shoulders. You're gonna come underneath that plumb line just like we started, only this is gonna be more of an abdominal crunch. So I want you to think of lifting. This lower half here feels very bridge-like. You're gonna keep it that way. You're gonna do an abdominal crunch. So notice how my lower body doesn't move down as I arch back. It stays where it is, but then I try to add a little bit more pelvic tuck. Make sure you exhale as you come up and you're inhaling as you arch back. You're gonna lift and lower. Slow and controlled for these. Accentuate the arch while contracting to your center, up and down. Exhale up, 4, 3. Exhale up, 2. Last one. As you lift, really think of lifting up through the pelvis, navel in, hands stay behind the head. You're gonna add a side crunch. I'm gonna go to the right. Keep it there and pulse. Think of armpit to hip for 10, 9. Keep squeezing your glutes. That's 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pivot through center, keep squeezing those hips. Getting tired already. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Coming back and walking yourself up and bringing that fabric in front. From here, we're gonna step that right foot in. Make sure your arch is in the fabric, so our heel and our foot is exposed. Left knee's gonna step in so that you can step through. Right foot to the floor. This is gonna bring us into a little plank variation, so hands to heart. Nice and controlled with that descend. Hands to the floor. And I want you to float your right knee. Squeeze through those abs. I want you to swing the knee back and forth for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Knee comes down right near wrist. Ooh, take a pigeon because it feels good. Release that left foot. You'll reach up for that fabric, coming through the middle, so we're kind of setting up in that backpack-like position. Do try to use your abs for this. I'm gonna pull down on that fabric, doing a little scoop. Floating those feet to come back up. Bring the fabric in front of you, and we're gonna take a triangle shape. So, triangle, we have that alignment of heel to the middle of the back arch. And you can just hold your fabric in whatever wrist wrap here feels good to you. I want you to reach forward into our little pyramid. So use your hand, even if you don't think you need to really peel this hip open. The further away we get, the more we're working in that core. You're gonna lift to the ceiling, and then you're gonna punch that hand away. So as far as you can reach, and pull. Pull into your center, reach, and lift. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep reaching, keep stabilizing through that center. Don't let this hip rotate. You're gonna tap those palms together and then open. So our goal here is not to move the hip, only rotating through the upper body. You're gonna feel it around that rib cage, wrapping. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, contract. And I want you to come right underneath. Do not pivot that hip. You're gonna touch underneath. You're gonna give me that little swivel for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold. Keep lifting that hip bone towards the ceiling as you curl your upper body underneath. And release. Step those feet together. And let's do that other side for that plank, which means our left foot will come in, just the arch, right? Heel and toes are exposed. Right knee steps in for the release. The left foot comes down this time as we come through. Nice and slow. Once you're there, hands down. You're gonna float that knee strong through the right leg. You're gonna swing for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Knee comes down, give it a pigeon stretch. Opening up, this is your little breather, enjoy it. Go ahead and release that foot. You'll take that same exit. So we want to focus on tucking and scooping with our core. Come behind those shoulders. You're going to pull down with your hands, but tuck in and under to come up. From here, you'll face whatever direction. I'm going to be on the other side of my mat. You might just want to turn around. We're going to take our second set of our triangle. You're in a pane of glass. Reach, even if you don't think you need to, use your fingers to pull open. I can get significantly deeper with that assist. Ceiling and away. 1 and 2. You're pulling into your core the whole time. Eight, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming up, hair out of the way, and across, and open. Remember, the temptation here is for that hip to move. Keep thinking about pointing that hip forward or spiraling it up, better yet, so that it doesn't move. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Remember that hip is gonna stay pointing outward and upward. Curl under, pulsing, squeeze through that rib cage. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and step it together. Meet me behind that fabric. Let's go ahead and walk through. We gotta set up for that second set for our back. So remember, slightly forward at the plumb line, because this is gonna be pulling us back, which is gonna make it a little harder. So come forward, fold. We want a nice flat back. Fingers behind the ears, elbows wide. You're gonna squeeze through those muscles of your back, lift and lower, lift and lower, squeeze. 8, keep looking down, don't look up, don't strain your neck. 7, 6, 5, this should not be this hard. 4, 3, 2, last one. Up, 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 hold, elbows a little higher if you got it. And release. You might need to adjust your fabric here, as I do, but go ahead and fold forward. As you come forward, you can give it that little walk back of your toes. We're just gonna take this into a little float. So reach up with your hands, head should be low. Fingertips are gonna reach through the middle, palms are facing out. Grab the fabric, slide up the fabric with the hands. Squeeze through the muscles of your back, engage your backside, and just send your body weight forward. Stretch the chest, squeeze the back, and release. Feet can come down to walk you forward. Bring that fabric up and over. Let's go ahead and find those shoulders. We're gonna add another side crunch. So similar to what we did earlier from this position, I want you to take one foot, I'm gonna take my left foot, cross it over. So I'm gonna start that side rotation. Now I'm gonna do that same thing, pulling my elbow and my hip closer together. So normally this is a stretch for us. Right now we're using those muscles to pull ourselves into that stretch, feeling a lot through here, rib cage and our costal region. 7, 6, keep twisting. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and center. Think of this as a plank as you're moving. Right crosses over left. Take your pivot. You're somewhere on that rib cage on the left. You're gonna do your side crunches, hip to shoulder for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Meet me back at center. And walking up and forward. Okay. I want you to open up your fabric and find your two ends so that we can make a little seat for ourselves. So I'm just gonna take those two ends together so I can take a climb in. Once you come to a seat, grab the fabric from the outside. Take this into a boat. So hinge back slightly, pull the knees in. Legs can extend if you're ready. I'm gonna try to get those legs nice and straight, squeezing the quads. If you feel confident to float your hands, you're gonna float those hands. There should be zero back pain, so do not arch that low back. One more breath. And then sit tall. Arms come up and through. Twist to one side, making little cactuses. So you're gonna take that back shoulder, and I want you to think of little squeezes. So I'm basically using my shoulder to try to squeeze into a deeper rotation. I feel this all in my lats on that one side, squeezing and releasing. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and hold. Good, inhale the arms up and exhale, coming back into boat. So I do need to hold my fabric to get myself into position, but then once I'm there, I can release and hold. 8, 7, 6, pay attention to that back, 0 pain. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, arms up and twist to the back. You're gonna take that elbow and pulse. It's a very, very small movement, but I can feel it all around that shoulder, down into my lats. 6, 5, pulse. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Arms up and through the back. Last one, I promise. You're gonna pull those knees in. You're gonna take that boat, squeeze with all your might through those quads. If your legs are straight, they're shaken. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. From here, If we're in our seat, we should be able to drop back. So hold the panel in your hands. As you drop back, you'll have more of a wrapped, sometimes called diaper, wrap around the hips. So I'm gonna widen those legs, catching in front, and you're gonna come down. Hands behind the head, support the neck, breathe in. Exhale, abdominal crunch, look at the ceiling, and then come down. You're gonna tuck up and down, nice and slow. Let's take 5 more. Lift and lower. I'm thinking of bringing my feet to my face as well when I come up. 3, 2, the last one. You're gonna lift, 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 and release. Walk yourself backwards. I want you to stretch your abdominals. Hard work is over. Hopefully that was quick and effective for you, because I'm definitely feeling a little warmer than when we first started. Push the ground away. Exhale, draw the navel in. Think of stretching through those abs. Long through the back of the neck here, let it go. Slowly release your hands. Reaching up for that fabric as you do your little tuck, so that you can release. Catch your elbows, sink forward, take a moment. Step your feet to the floor. Come up and over. Now that you're nice and warm, I don't want to waste all that good work that we've done in your muscles. Walk forward, take a true downward dog. Again, here you're pushing the ground away, pressing out through those heels, even if your feet are on the floor. I want you to focus on really pitching your tailbone to the ceiling here and pulling into your center as you reach apart through hands and feet. Relaxing and softening. Walk yourself forward. Coming up and out. Catch those shoulder blades. Option for that side stretch with or without the leg. Yes, as we did when we first started. And again, there could be a little hop here to try to get that foot up. Like so. I'm gonna push the ground away and then really lengthen across. Release and just slowly float back underneath your plumb line. If you're in my pose, you're gonna grab that foot. See if you can just give a little stretch for that quad and hip flexor. Your alternative is to come into a lunge. Foot to the floor and unwind. All right, with or without that leg, some of you are gonna need that little hop to catch. Pushing up and across. I'm gonna press my hips to the right as I lean to the left. Add that side crunch. One more breath. And release slowly. Again, here it is either a low lunge or a float and a pull. Regardless, I want you to squeeze those glutes. Foot to the floor. Or other release. Whew, finding our way up. And we've made it. If you like these strength-based practices, or you think you'd like some more of them, or you want me to incorporate more of this into what I offer, let me know in the comments and I will think of fun things we can do together. And until I get to work with you again, namaste and take care.